Hello. Welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We're here with two young ladies that are running for District 1 County Council seat here in Wicomico. We have County Councilwoman Shanie Shields, and we also have Miss Bernadette Cannady. Thank you both for being here. And before we go any further, before we go into our questioning, I want to have Councilwoman Shields tell us a little bit about herself.
My name is Shanie Pinkett Shields. I changed my name to Shanie because I couldn't figure out how to get Eugenie out of Eugenie. It's French. I grew up partly in the California district of Delaware Avenue. I moved back here in '81. I lived here for a while, and I lived away for about 8 years because my first husband was in the military. But anyway, I came back, and I couldn't get a job. So what I did, I started volunteering in organizations like Shore Up, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Delmar Rural Ministries. I even had my kids volunteer with Shore Up doing the butter and cheese giveaway. I'm a mother of 6 children, and I basically have an adopted daughter. That was my husband's daughter, and I took her in and raised her and partly raised my nephew because I love kids. I've been on certain boards. You talked about the current boards I'm on. But when I first moved back home, I got involved with community issues, simply housing, like on Martin Street, the house over there was terrible. And then with James Leonard was my mentor. And we dealt with migrant housing. If you see the Leonard Apartments, that was part of his honor, named the apartments after him because people who work in agriculture didn't have a place. They had the migrant camps. So we got rid of the migrant camps through the governor's task force on migrant housing. So I just became community active. I got politically active in the city, attending meetings, and I did that for 23 years before I even ran for office. So I did voter registration for the whole Eastern Shore of Maryland through the Maryland Food Committee when Mondale was running. So that's how long I've been involved.
Oh, wow.
And so 66% of the 4,400 people that we registered went to the polls and voted. And that's one of the things that concerns me is the people getting out to vote. Getting out to vote. Irregardless who you're supporting, get them out to vote. You can spend millions of dollars or no dollars on it, but if you don't get the people out to vote, it's just, and it's sad that we as the black community, you have all the opportunities that some people back in the day didn't have, and especially young, senior citizens vote, but younger people don't. And But anyway, I enjoy what I do. It's part of my mental therapy because I've had some tragedies in my life, and I turn to helping others. And I feel that I've gone through many of what my constituents have gone through. And so I'm able to relate to them more so than some, other people.
Sure.
And I don't forget where I come from, because if I didn't live on Jersey Road, you know where I'd be living?
Where's that?
On the west side on Delaware Avenue, somewhere around there. I love that community. I just do.
Wow.
I do. They call it the hood, but I could live there. I just love it because it brings me back to my grandfather's house. My great-great-grandfather's house is still there, and history means a whole lot to me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And I do know that my family, who also was raised up in that area, so you definitely have been a face that is recognized in that area for many years, and we do appreciate that. Now, Miss Bernadette Cannady.
Yes, hi. My name is Bernadette Cannady. I'm a lifelong resident of the community of San Domingo. I think the only time I was not living in San Domingo is when I left to go to school, graduated from Morgan, got married, had 2 boys, and then I moved back home to that community. And so, I'm there. That's home. I love it. Wouldn't live anywhere else right now. I'm presently also chair of the John Quinton Foundation that is based in the community of San Domingo. We work with the community, and we work with preserving the history of the community. I just recently retired from the Wicomico Public Library. Ever since I graduated from college, I've been in a library. So for some reason, it just stuck. So I retired as branch manager of that downtown branch. And I worked there for I'll just say now, over 30 years in that library. And, working with the community, I loved it. I got to work with everybody, from a person who's making a very good salary to our homeless community. So I work with various people in that community.
Interesting. Thank you. And again, I have talked to many different people who seem to know you from that library.
Yes.
So you weren't the quiet one at the library. Obviously, you were the one that they kind of levitated to. Thank you. Now, before we go into a lot of our questions, I want to stay right there with the fact of what is District 1 and what does it mean to both of you? Now, I want to say what part I think it means, and please correct me if I'm wrong on it. I do know it is a minority district, and it is predominantly, when I looked at the actual makeup of it, they said there's kind of like maybe 2/3 black voters there. Now, my question was after that was the census. Did they even recognize the Hispanics or mixed races and things like that? How did it come about that number? And I think when I spoke to you before, you said you were on a census board.
I was on the zoning when they were trying to draw the zoning lines. But when they're making up that zone, they're only looking at black and white. They don't consider any other culture.
Two races?
Two races. That's all they consider.
Now, what if you're both races? Does that consider black? Or?
It depends on whatever you mark in that block.
Wow. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about District 1 to you. What is District 1 to you? What makes you so want to represent that area?
District 1 is a really diverse area. And now with the lines changed, District 1 is rural, is urban. You have longtime residents, you have new families, you have farmland. It's a very, very diverse community. It's got each little community has its own pocket of leaders. And now with the lines drawn, you not only have what traditionally people look at as the west side of Salisbury, you have all of, when you straight down Route 50, you're going to come to San Domingo, and now you're going to move over, and there's parts of the Delmar Merlin area that are now parts of District 1.
Interesting. The District 1 to you there, Councilwoman Shields, what is it?
Well, District 1, as she said, part of it is rural. Salisbury was classified as urban, but to me it's still rural. Delmar was part of District 1 early on when Ernie first got in office.
Okay.
And then due to the fact of changing the borders, Delmar Merlin has got back in there, the 21875 zip code. But District 1 has challenges, and some of the neighborhoods have been forgotten. Some of the neighborhoods have been forgotten. And that's why when I originally ran for county council, one of the things that actually I was drawn to was Westover Hill. Westover Hill, and I had three things: Westover Hill, in the village playground, and the code enforcement help. Because the city of Salisbury had 6 code enforcements versus their 1 in the county. And not only does he deal with the county, he deals with San Domingo, Tyask, and
all over the place.
All over the place. But the ones in the city of Salisbury just had that little area.
Right.
So I think that what I think I need to do, which I have been down to San Domingo. I've been to, I think, North Twilley Road when somebody called me about a curve. But it's so widespread, you need to go and go to these neighborhoods to see just what you think the concerns are.
Sure.
But then you have to hear from the people.
Right.
And then also the tenant and landlord relationships. you go on Delaware Avenue. I've used Delaware Avenue. And those little houses across from First Baptist.
Yes, ma'am.
You see the bushes growing right in people's backyard. To me, that's the property owner's job. But in back of that, in back of those houses, there's a stream called Cody Cox. So I was asked about Cody Cox, who was responsibility. So I called, because I remember the city spent $1.3 million up to Rose Street. So I called to see who the responsibility was, and it's the city's responsibility to go from Rose Street to Woodland, behind Newport Circle.
Okay, I know exactly what you're
So
talking
those are the projects, and then you have to go to other areas of the district to see the needs of what people need. And I feel my shortcomings is that when I first got elected, I had open heart surgery. I had a 5% aneurysm. Remember that?
Praying for you, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of slowed me down.
Okay.
You know, in wanting to do the things you wanted to do. So if I am elected, I think it's one of these things in this question. I'll jump on it now. I need to go within the community to see what their concerns are, because people don't come to meetings.
No.
They don't come to meetings. They don't look at PAC 14. They don't read the newspaper. So you're going to have to go out. I'm going to use Cherie Sample Hughes as a perfect example how she goes and has town meetings. And one time she told me that it was more people, department heads at the meeting than people. But if you go to these meetings or have these meetings and the people don't go, at least you know you tried.
True.
At least you know you tried.
True.
My phone number is on the website. My personal phone number is on the website. I think that we have to work together, the community and the elected official. And so I think District 1 has a lot of issues, and we'll be touching bases with that. You can't solve all of them because it's a solution. You know the concern, but finding the solution is the biggest.
Takes a village a lot of times.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Okay. Well, here's what a question I want to ask. San Domingo, we were talking about San Domingo. Again, I'm from Deep District 2 originally, a place called Wicomico. I've talked to both of you about that area. Matter of fact, we just got a new state park down there.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes. It's a lot of adjusting because everybody that I know down there, they're kind of quiet. Now, well, the people who wanted it, but I'll say most people down there don't want a lot of extra traffic.
Yeah.
But San Domingo and Wicomico share something else, and that is a school building. And I mean, I think you corrected me on how to say it before. I think I called it a Rosenwall. Is that how you say it?
Julius Rosenwall was a money contributor, and so they call them Rosenwall schools.
Can you give me a little background on what's the traditional value of that into the black community?
Well, these schools were built all over the United States. Julius Rosenwall and Booker T. Washington, the short version is they got together. It was Julius Rosenwall wanted for the black communities, for their students to be educated. So he was, and when people say, well, who's Julius Rosenwall? And then I say, think of Sears and Roebuck. Everybody knows Sears. Well, he owned Sears and Roebuck. So here comes some money along with the skills of Booker T. Washington. They went around the country building these schools using the knowledge from the students of Tuskegee to build these schools, and they were all built in a certain way so that they would use the environment actually to learn during the school. Every school has the same type of build. Now, San Domingo has one of the larger schools because it's a 2-story building, and if you would ever come down there and take a tour, you would see all these banks of windows all around the school. And those windows they are put there on purpose. Number one, they were the light coming in the schools, help the children. and it also heated the schools. It helped heat the schools.
How about that for saving money?
Oh yeah, and right now, if
That's
you
solar
go
power
down,
for real.
right now in the let's say dead summertime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go down there now, and those banks of windows, and you walk in that school, and it is feels, well, to me, I would say it feels beautiful. Now, when some may walk in there, and they're going to be sweating because
Like me.
it's just that warm. I think it's lovely.
I like a little warmer.
Right. But anyway, that's the history. And so many people from San Domingo, let's say Warlatown, Mardella, all around that area, they went to that Rosenwald School as their education.
Okay.
During segregation.
Sure. Now, the school there in San Domingo has been restored. Or do you work?
Yes.
I mean, what do you do as far as with that?
Okay, it was restored. My brother retired.
Okay.
He moved home. He and his wife, started the working to secure money because, and the Maryland Historical Society was a big contributor. There were many other grants that were used to restore that school, but they were the number one, contributor to restore that school. And it took a lot of money. Right now, when you come in, it is totally restored right down to the floor. The lights, one gentleman told us, make sure that we protect those lights. They are original. And you think, when I think back, my father was born 1920. And when you think that school was there during that time, and unfortunately, I did not attend that school. When I came along, the county, because the county, to build that school, the county, there were three parts that had to work. The community had to agree, the county had to agree. All these folks had to agree before the school even got built. And so, the county, because it was under the county education system. But by the time I came along, the county had said that they wanted a more modern school. They built Cooper Mill Elementary, which is no longer there. Most people remember it as Dove Point, the Teen Adult Center that was in San Domingo. The school is no longer there. But when you think about it, that school that was supposed to be more modern is now gone. But the Rosenwald School still stands.
And I want to ask you about another historic area, but before we go on that, talk about that school, yes. And the other school, another one of the schools, and I actually want both of you to know, because one of you two are going to be our District 1 rep. Down in Wecomico is the other one. Now, the area down there, you might know the name Calvin Burrell. They've been working very hard on trying to get it restored and things like that, but they haven't been able to grasp a hold of getting some funding without losing the school.
Right.
So maybe there's something we can do about talking to them, but that school still is standing. Now, of course, there's a lot of work that can be done to it, but it's not like to the point that it's going to just fall in.
Right.
But if we don't act soon, it could happen. Right.
Anyone that would, if they want to come up and talk to our foundation and sit down and talk to my brother would be a good one because he actually dealt with our funders.
Okay.
And any help that we could give them, of course.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Now, Miss Shanie, you and I and my wife, we've sat down and talked, and actually it's kind of neat because I was talking to my mom just here recently about downtown Salisbury, how it was where Brew River is now. Can you tell us how it was when you were living? Like when you were younger downtown.
When I was a little girl.
Yes.
I started going downtown when I was about 7, because I was raised by a Jamaican, and my cousin was married to a Jamaican, and he drove cab part-time. But what amazes me as I got older, it was a multiracial businesses.
Yes.
When you know where the bridge is coming across, which was downtown. They called downtown Plaza downtown. It was uptown. It was really uptown. So downtown,
Downtown, uptown.
on the left side, like you coming going toward uptown, there was a fish market. Then there was Robert Fields' store. Both of those were white establishments. Then, before you got to the alley, they had Clegger's Market, which was a Jewish market. Then you had a little alley. Then Ed Cook's hotel or rooming house was in back of that. Then you cross over, there was Children's Barbershop. And then there was a little separation. There was Tony's shoe shop, which is an Italian shoe shop. And then in back of that was Cherie Samples Hughes' grandfather's first restaurant, Melvin Samples Restaurant.
Okay.
Across the street was Dixie Bargain. Then you came to, they had Miss Vita Moore and her husband, Mr. Norris Moore. They had a barber shop, and Miss Vita Moore was the first nurse, public health nurse, and also she was a band leader.
Okay.
And my mother's father, I believe, had that building first, Arthur Winder, who was from down Quantico.
Okay.
And my mom that raised me.
Got you.
Then you had Acme Market. Lady in 1930 built the Franklin Hotel, White Lady. Then it became called Franklin Hotel back in 1930. Then you had the Blue Moon, which singers like Etta James and all them came. Then it was switched down to Blue Tango. Ernie's Drugstore used to have the best hot dogs on the corner. I taste them now. And then you had around the corner, it's gone now, you had the butcher shop, Williams Butcher Shop. Poster card that Mr. Jim Weatherly owned. And they had the poster card on Fridays. They had teenagers would come there and dance at a stage and everything. And that's where a lot of the black community had their social activities, because we didn't have the Civic Center and things like that. That's where they had we had the Ritz movies, we had a movie theater. Mr. Delbert Collier had that. Budweiser, the pool hall upstairs. They hadn't been tearing that building down. But anyway, then you had something called the Tea Room, 1020, all the way across the highway before they, demolished everything. But that is a historical neighborhood. And then the first hospital was over there on Fitzwater Street.
Wow.
My Dr. Brown was on Willow Street that delivered me. He delivered me and my grandparents' house. He gave me my name. And then you come up West Main Street, and where Maple Tourist Home was, Professor Chipman bought a lot of property. But Maple Tourist Home was the home for teachers. And most teachers were single. Back in the day, you had to be single, not married. But some got married, eventually.
Right.
But he had a home for teachers. Most teachers were from out of town or the South. Some lived with families. And the house was designed to look like the White House. And John P. Parsons' home up on the hill?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the first Parsons rest home, because the white community lived there too. It was interracial.
Wow.
And Alfred Truitt grew up there.
Wow.
The first Greek family, if I'm not mistaken, was Sarbanes family, because my mom used to play, because my grandfather worked at the hotel.
Yes,
and my grandmother was a housekeeper up downtown. But it has a rich history, and I hate to see it tore down. And so the buildings were, I think the only building left is Salisbury Battery, which is owned by Purdue, and the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And the hotel. That's the only thing that's left to remind people that it was a Lake Street. And the second one is similar to the school in San Domingo, is the Chipman Culture Center.
I was thinking about that. Right.
The Chipman Culture Center, I had family that was in Georgetown, my great-grandfather. And my half-brothers and sisters grew up there. And I went to church there when the Culture Center was a church.
Okay.
That was the first school downstairs.
Okay.
And then when they moved from downstairs, they moved over to the warehouse on Railroad Avenue. It was a warehouse. Then after they moved to the warehouse, the community got together and built Salisbury Elementary. Remember, before they built the new Chipman Elementary? Okay. They got together and got that school. A mixture of community. As she said, community. The black community got together because they wanted their children to be educated in a more modern school. So the Chipman Center is the oldest church design in the state of Maryland. And as she said, Maryland Historical Trust has been a supporter of historical buildings for minorities. And when I first got involved with Chipman, it was way back in '85, because Mrs. Chipman,
Mrs. Chipman.
And my cousin Elaine Brown pulled me and Vance Albert, said, "You're going to be a part of this." Didn't ask did we want to be a part. They told me. So I came to love the building and the part of the renovation. Because I remember going to the Sunday school and the church and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to see it destroyed. There was one thing holding the roof up like that, the big, long rod. And if that rod had broke, the roof would have came down and it wouldn't been no more they wouldn't been able to renovate it. The house next door is 128 years old. That was the parsonage. Then we have the church has we're looking into the graveyard by Arby's.
Yes.
The Houston Cemetery. So that's a historical cemetery.
Is it in both races or?
No, it belonged to John Wesley Church.
Okay.
And but all the churches were across the highway. The highway took the churches. First Baptist, St. James, St. Paul. Because my great-grandfather was one of the founders of St. Paul.
Hence it being Church Street at that time.
Yeah, that's why it was called Church Street, because the churches, black and white, were all along there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But history is very important to me. Our history is very important to me.
Yeah.
And we have to teach our children about the past because we have come a long way. We can go further. Because
that part.
I hate to say it, racism is still alive and well, but our children need to get away from these things. Social media. Technology is destroying our children in a way that it's not good.
Right.
People tell me, you need to get on social media, you need to do this, you need that. I'm old-fashioned. I love talking on the phone. Texting's okay, but to me, you're not communicating with people. Because sometimes in a person's voice, you can get their attitude.
Absolutely.
Looking at somebody's body language, if you're meeting both ways,
Yes, ma'am.
So
what I want to do is I want to give you all both a couple seconds or a couple of minutes to say something. You say what you got on your mind with this, because when we come back in this next segment, we're going to go to the nitty-gritty, if that's the saying, where we go to the questions. But I want to start with you, Miss Bernadette. Just tell us, talking about District 1, what is your forecast? What would you like to see happen if you are elected in District 1?
District 1, what I would like to see is a little bit more unity. District 1 is so spread out, but I think we can bring the residents together. They just need to be educated, and I really think a lot of our voters have, it's so depressing. They have checked out. But, me, I've got to get out there in that community. It's like, what they call my kids might say boots on the ground. You got to get out there and talk to the people. Sometimes sitting in a room having a meeting, it's not going to work. But if they see you, you gain their trust, and and they think, well, maybe this might work. But you got to gain their trust. You got to educate them on how the government really works, because we're the legislative body. We're supposed to enact laws. Secure a budget, try our best anyway to secure a budget and make sure everything is equal. Make sure the services are equal. And so, because that's what a resident wants. When you're sitting home, dead winter and you looking out, especially for me in San Domingo, when I was working, I wanted to see that salt truck go down the road. I wanted to see the scraper. People are looking for basic services.
Sure.
And and that's what we can give them.
Okay. All right. Very well put. Ms. Shanie, what would you like to see happen in the next 4 years if you're real?
I have to agree with her, with Bernadette, on that unity part.
Okay.
We have an opportunity. We have a black person in the city council. We have a black person in the elected in District 1, county council, and you have a delegate. We should work together and educate our constituents. When Cherie and I got on the council the first time, we did a newsletter. She had Wicomico County, I had the city of Salisbury.
Okay.
and we pass those out to our various communities. There's a cost factor in that. But I agree that you cannot sit in a room with people because they're not going to come, for one thing. They feel, unless it's something to raise your voice about like 287,
Right.
287G, you had a room packed full of people.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But we need to go to the people. And I agree wholeheartedly that you have to go to those people and talk to them, go where they are. And that's why I was saying that's what the last couple of years I had family issues that kept me from meeting people. And when you do things, I accept criticism. That's another thing, you have to accept criticism. You're not always going to agree.
No,
but,
especially not in politics.
People want to know where I was. people say, we haven't seen Shane, because I was everywhere,
Right.
I got my license when I was 45 because I always walked.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I was doing it because of my mom had lost her leg, and I wanted to make sure she had transportation. But anyway, they're absolutely right. You have to be seen, and you have to be caring. You can't be phony with these people.
Right.
You can't be phony because they know if you're actually, your heart is in it. And also, you got to be committed.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, see, I would do this whether I got paid or not.
You want to say that too loud because they're going to want you to
Well,
do it
I
for
mean, I'm
free.
just saying because I like doing it. See, this is my enjoyment. I'm sitting on the other side of the table.
Sure.
It's a whole lot different when you're sitting out in the audience. But then when you get across the table, there's a whole lot of things you find that you can do, can't do, or there's no money to do it. You got to find money. That kind of stuff happens. So I think visibility, and I have to agree with her, with Bernadette, that visibility is most important.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Now we're gonna go right to the break, and then when we come back, we're gonna ask those questions and see what you young ladies have in store for answers. All right. This is Bridging the Gap. We'll be right back.